So here's a mini quad update. Now, pretty happy with the way this is flying at the moment. All set up quite happy, and although it's not particularly tidy, it works fine. But I recently messed about with the larger quad on the some of the PID settings and the stick scaling on the KK2 to get bigger or faster loops, and that worked really well. And I thought I'd like to do that something on this one. Also, a friend asked me for my PID settings for a mini quad as he was building one. But my problem is the KK2 is somewhere in there, but you can't get to the buttons and you can't see it or anything. It's all blocked. And as I mentioned before, the biggest problem I've got is these servo cables. Got, well, 6 servo cables coming from here, 5 for control, 1 to power the VTX, and the quite sort of large FlySky or Turnigy receiver. And then these things have to route right round the outside, underneath the KK, to the other side, where they take a load of space there. Now, just by chance, I picked up this little FrSky DR4-II for the wing, and I noticed in the instructions that you could make it do CPPM just by putting this little jumper between channels 3 and 4, and this should allow me to use a single servo lead on the KK2, and then channel 2, which would then talk PWM RSSI, will still put out 5 volts, so that should power the camera. So I'm now aiming to swap out all this with a nice tiny thin little thing, which happens also to be a telemetry receiver as well, which is quite nice, just in case I want to fly this over a kilometre, which is unlikely, but let's try it. Having taken it all apart, I figured it was quite a good chance to put on the KK 1.6 firmware. I was on the 1.5 to begin with, but I heard there was some decent improvements and good stability in manual mode from 1.6, so that's on there now. This is the quad layout as I've decided to go with the telemetry receiver just sticking out the back so I can get to the failsafe button and see the LED, and with the single servo lead on the left there already connected, which is a lot less cables. Okay, so here's what we ended up with. We've moved the micro VTX round to the side, along with the LC filter and the servo extension to join up here. I wish these USB cables from the 808 had a nice right angle there, because they don't half stick out. The tolerances we've got between the props and the sides are really quite slim. I mean, that's just a couple of millimetres there. Of course, good thing here is now we haven't got a great big receiver here. If we look at the front, we've got our FrSky receiver, got access to the buttons, and if I take the camera off I can see the screen pretty well through the holes, and it lights up nicely, so it's quite a good view. So the 1.6 has still got my settings, so I'm just going to take a quick hover in the garden, make sure it hovers, and obviously I've reduced the amount of velcro here so it's loose, but it's always loose, so just make sure that doesn't induce any horrible jello.
You happy? This is self-level over it. It's a bit like not really responsible. So let's go to the manual. That's pretty good.